Oh, honey, you're on my island now. Why don't I fix that attitude of yours? Hey everyone, this is Rabbitearsblog and welcome to another in-theater movie review series. So today's movie that I'll be reviewing is the Sam Raimi directed film, Send Help. So the movie starts off with a woman named Linda who's actually put upon at work as everybody mistreats her at work since they find her to be so awkward to talk to and they don't like the fact that she's so messy in her appearance. And one day the CEO's son Bradley ends up taking over the company and he ends up denying Linda her promotion because he doesn't like the way that Linda looks. And one day it turns out that Linda went on this company trip with Bradley and the other employees, and they go on this plane, and unfortunately the plane ends up crashing into the ocean and it ends up killing everybody except for Bradley and Linda. And so Linda ends up saving Bradley from dying out on the island, and because Linda knows so much about surviving in the wilderness, she was much more better equipped on surviving on the island than Bradley was. So the rest of the film is spent on Linda trying to protect Bradley from the island, and actually she starts to control Bradley on the island since she's the only one who knows about how to survive on the island. And of course the film has a dark twist that revolves around Linda and Bradley's characters. So what are my thoughts on this movie? I absolutely love this movie. So let's talk about what I liked about this movie. So the first thing that I liked about this movie was the premise. So I have a confession for you guys. I was actually introduced to Sam Raimi's work through his Spider-Man films that starred Tobey Maguire in the early 2000s. And over the years, I've heard a lot of people talk about how Sam Raimi's movies tend to have a lot of horror in his movies. And at first I didn't really understand about that. Even though the Spider-Man films that he directed do have a bit of horror in them, it wasn't like outright horror like some of the horror films that I've seen over those years. But when I found out that Sam Raimi actually directed the very first Evil Dead movie, I was like, oh, so that's what people meant when they said that Sam Raimi's horror elements do seep into his film. And some of the horror elements that Sam Raimi has become well known for are included in this movie, Send Help. So what I liked about the premise of this movie is that it starts off as your standard movie where the two characters are trapped on an island together and they have to figure out a way to survive on the island while trying to get along with each other. But the movie takes this premise and twists it in a dark and horrifying way. And I actually found myself shocked by the plot twist that happens in this movie since it was very unexpected and I didn't expect the movie to go that dark. Even though the first half of the movie did have some horrifying moments, especially when the plane crashes in the first half of the movie. But yeah, I was actually shocked by the plot twist that happened in this movie, and I was actually pretty shocked that they took a simple premise about having two characters being stranded on an island together and turn it into something very horrifying. Another thing that I liked about this movie was the gory violence. Now I know that I say this a lot in my movie reviews, that I sound like a sadist when I talk about how much I love the gore in some of the films I've watched, but I really do love the gory violence in this film. Like, the violence in this movie are some of the most brutal violence that I've seen in any Sam Raimi film, and I just love how this movie doesn't pull any punches when it comes to trying to survive out in the wilderness and when it comes to trying to kill animals. They show all of that in very brutal detail, and I just love seeing all the gore that was going on in this film. And then you have some of the fight scenes in this film which are pretty gory itself and pretty terrifying to look at. So I really love the gory violence in this film, as the gory violence really made this film really intense to look at. And then another thing that I really liked about this film were the performances. I think that both Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien were fantastic as the lead characters in this film. I love how Rachel McAdams made Linda into such a psychotic character, and yet Linda is pretty friendly at times. And I just love that mix in Linda's personality, where she could be nice at times, but she could be downright deadly at times where she's pushed too far. And I think that Rachel McAdams did a fantastic job of balancing the horrific nature of Linda's character as well as her comedic nature at the same time. I also really love Dylan O'Brien's performance as Bradley, as he really made Bradley into such a misogynistic character who's a jerk towards Linda throughout the film. And I just love how Dylan O'Brien made Bradley into such a mean-spirited character and also threatening at some points in the film, as it seems like Bradley wants to kill Linda throughout the film. So I really like how Dylan O'Brien portrayed Bradley in this film, and I think that both Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien had a really good chemistry with each other, as it seems like both characters are trying to kill each other throughout the film. Now, if there was a minor issue that I have with this film, is that I felt like the secondary characters weren't fully developed. Like, it felt like that most of the secondary characters who get introduced into this film were just there to kind of develop both Linda and Bradley's characters a bit further. But despite the fact that the secondary characters don't get a lot of development, I really do love the two leads, Bradley and Linda, as they're like the most entertaining characters in the entire movie. I just love how both characters are able to carry the film on their own without having the supporting characters like try to build them up even more. And now a word from this channel. All aboard the Social Media Express. Want to send some tweets my way? Then follow me on Twitter. Want to see me play lots of video games and other stuff? Then follow me on Twitch. Want to join our crazy community? Then join our Discord group. Let's chat with Rabbitearsblog. Want to see more stuff from my YouTube channel? Then check out my Facebook page, Rabbitearsblog's Best Comments. Want to check me out at other awesome accounts? Here's my card. And now, back to the video. But overall, I'm going to give Send Help a high watch it. Even though I kind of wish that the secondary characters would develop a bit more, I just love the performances of both Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, as they both did a fantastic job at making both Linda and Bradley two psychotic characters who are trying to get off this island. And I also really love the gory violence in this film, as it's some of the most violent moments I've seen in any Sam Raimi film. And I really love how the movie turns the premise on its head by having these two characters being stranded on an island, but then they reveal some really dark secrets about both characters at the same time. So if you're looking for a movie where two characters are stranded on an island, but it takes on a more horror take to the concept, then you definitely gotta check out Send Help. So those are my thoughts on Send Help, and tell me in the comments down below, have you seen Send Help? And if you have, did you like this movie? Did you hate this movie? And what's your favorite movie that involves two characters being stranded on an island? Please let me know in the comments down below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Rabbitearsblog, and I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, like this video? If you want to check out more crazy content from this channel, then please hit that big old colorful subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra generous, then please support me through Patreon so I can make more awesome content for this channel.